welcome to Unit 8, the structure of an essay. In this unit, you will learn the definition of an essay, how to format an essay, how to write a thesis statement. Okay, what is an essay? An essay is a group of paragraphs written about a single topic and a central main idea. It must have at least 3 paragraphs, but a 5 paragraph essay is a common assignment for academic writings. So here is the definition of an essay. So what we use for it's for academic writings, maybe in universities, school, college, or institutes. For assignments, for research, we can use them. Okay, this is just a structure of an essay, and tonight we are going to have a review on it and see what is the structure of an essay. The structure of an essay there has 3 main points: title, the introduction, the body, the conclusion part. Okay, so in introduction part, what is the introduction part? This is the first paragraph of an essay. It explains the topic with general ideas. It also has a thesis statement. This is a sentence that gives the main idea. It usually comes at or near the end of the paragraph. Okay, which part is introduction part? This part. From this until this. We call it what? Introduction paragraph. The introduction part is in this part. And we have thesis statement here. Where is a thesis statement? It usually comes at the end of the introduction paragraph. It usually came from like the last sentence. It can be usually it's the last sentence of the first paragraph in an essay. So you can check that sentence and see if the sentence is giving or the statement is giving the main idea. So that one is the thesis statement. Otherwise, it's not like for always. Usually, it's like it comes at the end of essay or it comes near to the end of the paragraph. Okay, so the body paragraph. As we had in definition, an essay can conclude 2 or 3 paragraphs. So the body paragraph is usually 1, 2, or 3. That's okay. We can have like 2 paragraphs, 2 body paragraphs, 1 body paragraph, or 3 body paragraph. No problem for that. More than that. The body thesis, these are paragraphs that explains and support the thesis statement and come between the introduction and the conclusion. There must be 1 or more body paragraph and an essay. Okay, this part is, and this essay just because it's an example, it's just 1 body paragraph from here until here. You can see how exactly how like clean and clear the format is. See, this is a space here. We have a space here, we have a space here, we have a space here, we have a space here. Without no writing, just with some symbols, we can understand where is the introduction part, where is the body paragraph, and which one is the conclusion part. Why? Because it's very clear and organized. The way of writing, we have the spaces here. When a person reads in the first attention, they can understand which one is the introduction part, which one is body paragraph, and which one is conclusion part. Why? Because whenever we finish 1 paragraph, so we just leave a space and go to other line and start with some space, with a tiny space, and go to the other paragraph. As it's like this, see, a space here, with the other paragraphs. So, what is the body paragraph? As it mentioned here, a body paragraph supports the thesis statement. It can be some examples about things that are mentioned in the thesis statement, or give examples, or usually it supports the thesis statement. So, in here we have the conclusion part as well. So, the conclusion part, here is the conclusion part. So, what is the conclusion paragraph? This is the last paragraph in essay. It summarizes or restores the thesis and the supporting idea of an essay. Okay, these are the main parts of a paragraph. These are like the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. They are the structure of an essay generally. How many parts does an essay has? Is three parts, three main parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. Good. So, as it mentioned here also, use double spacing, leave a blank line between each line of writing, leave 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch of space on the sides and the top of on bottom of the pages. This space is called the margin. And the margin. If you type your essays, start the first line of each paragraph with a 5 space on top, one top. This is called indenting. If you write by hand, indent about 2 centimeters, 3 to 4 inch. Put title of your essay at the top of the first page and the center. So this is just an example for essay. In here we have title, we have the introduction part. See, it's very clear because the format is very organized. See, we have a space here, we have a space here. We have a space leave, see, it continues the other line and the other line because this is a separate paragraph. You can understand from the spaces and the format that these are the separate paragraphs. So the first paragraph is we call this introduction. The second, after the introduction part, paragraph continues until here, and this one is another paragraph, the second paragraph that we have, body paragraph, and the our AC, and this is the conclusion. See how it's clear and organized. Without the reading, we can understand where is the introduction and where is and the conclusion or body paragraph. So, changing English, the African American influence. If you ask average of Americans where their language comes from, they will probably say England. However, English vocabulary has also been influenced by other countries and groups of people. Some words are borrowed from other languages, such as typhoon, which originally came from Chinese word typhoon, meaning big wind, or sakak, the name of a small, smelly black and white animal, came to English from a Native American English. African Americans to have both contributed new words to English and changed the meaning of some existing words. So where is now the thesis statement? We should find the thesis statement here. So we read it from here until here. So until to body paragraph. So I say this one is the body and the thesis statement here. Sorry. Why this is a thesis statement? Because it gives the main idea. These were all the introduction. But this state or sentence gives the main idea. Why? See, African Americans to have both contributed new words to English and changed the meaning of some existing words. See the other paragraph, what it starts with. African Americans. The meaning of the words. Did you saw that? The thesis statement here is what we are going to mention in our body paragraphs. We mention them in the thesis statement and support them and continue them and give examples for them, give definitions and all things in one paragraph, and that is include in body paragraph. When we write an essay, that paragraph after the thesis statement is body paragraph. So African Americans, and these are all about African Americans, examples and things. The meaning of words sometimes changes over time. It was also mentioned in thesis statement. It continues until, until this part. So until this part, it was the other body paragraph. We have two body paragraphs in this essay. And this is the conclusion part. What is it in conclusion part? English adds some of its interesting and colorful vocabulary to African Americans, existing ethnic groups in the United States, as well as the new immigrants will surely continue to bring, just a minute with these notifications, existing bring new words to English and give fresh meaning to existing words. Who knows what cool words of tomorrow will be? To the conclusion part and with a question. So this was a very good and great organized and clear example of an essay. You can have review that, have a look on that and see how organized it is, how clear it is, and you can understand it with one reading. I'm sure about it. So what is the other part is thesis statement. And what is thesis statement? The thesis statement is a sentence that tells all the main idea of a whole essay. It can be compared to a topic sentence, which gives the main idea of a paragraph. It usually comes at the near or at the end of the introductory paragraph. So in here it says about a compare, so that's compare and contrast essay. That one is different. And when we just talk about like a simple essay, we mentioned the points that we are going to talk about in other body paragraph. Good. Um, In these introductory paragraphs, underline the thesis statement, then circle a topic to draw another line under the main idea. In each thesis statement, share your answer with a partner. So we did this with your friends, but unfortunately, I was forgetting about the recording, so I'm recording this again. So I was not able to record that one in the class. In the class, your friends already did this with me. So I'm gonna now practice it and just point and underline where the thesis statement is. Before I traveled to US last year, I thought that the American food was just hamburgers and French fries, hot dogs, sticks pizza, apple pie, and cola. These foods are popular in the states, but during my travels, I discovered that there is so much more eating in America. People from every country in the world have made their home in the USA and they have brought with them their native foods. Even in a small town, you can find restaurants serving the foods of China and Mexico. Okay. And here until even in small towns, Italy, Vietnam. The United States can be divided into six general regions that have their own characteristic foods influenced by the cultures of the people who lives there. So I can say this one is the thesis statement because it gives all the idea. It's the main point of the introductory part. because in introductory part we have kind of introduction until here. From here until here it's kind of introduction, but from here until here the last sentence or statement is the thesis statement. Why? Because it says the United States can be divided into six general regions that have their own characteristic foods influenced by cultures of the people who live there. So the other parts from here until here, it was all introduction part. It was giving information. See, before I traveled in the US last year, I was thinking this, and now I think this because I saw that there's a lot of ethics and different ethics in USA, and they brought their native foods there. So this is all in one sentence. The other introductory part, everybody knows that koala is a cute Australian animal that resembles a the teddy bear. Although the koalas look like a toys, they are actually strong climbers and spend their days in the treetops. Mother koalas carry their hub and babies around from tree to tree in a bunch of or pocket or their stomach. Although there were millions of koalas in Australia in the past, they are now protected species of an animal. As a result of human population growth, deforestation, and hunting, the number of koalas has declined. So I can say from here until here is thesis statement. Why is it a thesis statement? Because it says all things about the introductory part here, and it gives some points here. So what will the ACs will be talking about is population growth, deforestation, hunting of koalas, and the number of koalas that has been declined. There is a point of the paragraphs. The paragraphs are going to be about these points. So these you can do this with yourself and find the thesis statement in this introductory part. Writing a strong thesis statement. A thesis statement gives the author's opinion or state an important idea about the topic. It should give an idea that can be discussed and explained with the supporting ideas. Like the qualifications for entering any university in my country are unreasonable. When studying a second language, there are several ways to improve use of the language. They are the strong thesis statement. They can be discussed or explained. How? See, the qualifications for entering a university in my country are unreasonable. So, unreasonable, you're something to discuss about, right? There's something to explain why it's unreasonable. When studying a second language, there are several ways. So, several ways, and the ways will be mentioned in the body paragraphs. A thesis statement should not be a sentence that only gives a fact about the topic. In the northern hemisphere, the summer months are warmer than the winter months. This is not a strong thesis statement. It cannot be discussed or argued about because it's a fact. How we can just argue or claim or say that no, it's not correct or add some opinions because it's just a fact. A thesis statement should not state two sides of an argument equally. There are advantages and disadvantages to using unclear power. This could be a topic sentence. This could be a topic sentence, but it's not a thesis statement and gives you two sides of an argument without giving a clear opinion of a support or disagreement. It could be revised like this. Although there are some advantages, using unclear power has many disadvantages and should not be a part of our country's energy plan. So this is a thesis statement that can be explained, can be discussed, and you can add examples, informations, why that your state this and disadvantages and advantages, you can add them. This part is going to be your homework. Read these thesis statements below. Write a strong thesis statement If fact only, a weak thesis statement, or no and no clear opinion, a weak thesis statement. So the other one is writing a thesis statement. Your homework is to write a thesis statement. This is the a guidance. You can use this one for writing. And this is all. Any other question comes up, you can ask me through the group or the comments. Okay, thank you very much.